In this video, I'm going to show you the top 7 use cases for CCXT. Now, you probably already know what CCXT is. It allows you to connect to any crypto exchange like Binance, so you can algo trade, or FTX, so you can build trading algorithms, or Coinbase. You can connect using CCXT or KuCoin, or Bybit, or Femex, whatever exchange you want, you can connect to it with CCXT, and I use it all the time for algo trading. If you don't already know me, my name is Moon, and I build new trading algorithms every single day and share them here free on YouTube so you can learn as quickly as possible, because I understand this is the most secretive industry in the world. Nobody wants to share anything, so I'm just trying to do the opposite and share everything. Then I put strategies and all that good stuff inside of my Discord here, just so you can win. And essentially the first thing you'll need to do is import CCXT right here. I imported a don't share config that has my keys so I can connect, and we'll just go through the top 7 things that you can use CCXT for, and I'll do it in reverse order. So we'll go 7 down to 1. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So let's start with this. Number 7, let's create a limit order. So let's go ahead and say exchange, because remember we said exchange. You'll have to connect here. So let me go over this really quickly just in case. You want to say exchange, CCXT dot whatever exchange you want to connect to. So in my case, I'm using Femex, but you could be Binance, or it could be Coinbase, it could be FTX, all those exchanges that they have, KuCoin, and so on and so on. You can connect. Then you essentially say enable rate limit equals true, and then you pass in your API key and your API secret. Really simple to do. Now, in order to create a limit order, we'll set some variables. Let's say symbol equals ETHUSD. So whatever you want to trade, put it right there. The size, we'll just say 1. And that's probably good for now. Let's go ahead and say exchange. Remember, we're calling right above. It says exchange up right above this where we connect. And we say exchange, create limit buy order, and then we would go ahead and pass in the symbol and the size, and then we want to see what else it asks us to pass in. It says symbol, amount, and then the price. So let's go ahead and put a price here of 1,600, and this will be how much we buy it for. So price equals price. Now let's go over to the exchange so you can see what's going on here besides this big red bar. Well, you can see here, if I have no active orders, I have no open positions, but now if I run this, it should submit an order. And you can see, buy 1 contract, and you can see I have an active order here for that 1 contract, which is awesome. And you just learned how to get started with algo trading. That's awesome. I'm excited for you. I remember my first time, it was awesome. So let's say number 6, remember, top 7 things, we're going 7, 6, 5, 4. Let's go ahead and say, fetch open positions. So let's get an open position going here, and since we're algo traders, we can create an open position pretty easily. So this is actually going to be more than 7 because I didn't plan to show you this one. Create market order, pass in the symbol, and then we pass in the size. So if I create that market order now, I'll mark this out, the create limit order, and it should just enter me into a position immediately. You can see order fully filled. So I'm in a position. So I want to show you number 6, which is fetch open positions. So to fetch the open positions, which you'll need all the time, like I use this all the time. I essentially looked through all my algos and saw what was the most important, what I use all the time. So fetch open, you could do fetch positions, and I could go ahead and say print exchange.fetch positions, and I'm going to close this market order so it doesn't make another order. And we want to go ahead and show exactly how to fetch your open orders. Well, these are actually 2 different functions I'm going to show you. So again, I'm giving you more than 7, but fetch positions would get your open positions. Let's go ahead and see what that prints out. you can see these are all the positions that you'd have to loop through, and I can show you all that, no worries. But I also like to use, instead of fetch positions, I like to use fetch open orders. So fetch open orders, and then you simply just pass in that right there, because now I can see, you know, while fetch positions is good, I can also see, hey, I have active orders here. So fetch open orders is number 6. You can see fetch open orders. I have this one open order that correlates to this right here. So let's go ahead and go on to number 5. Now you know how to fetch open orders. You also know how to create a limit order. You also know how to create a market order. What's number 5? Well, number 5 is you must be able to cancel orders. Because a lot of the times, algo traders will forget they have to cancel their orders every time they loop through, or else it's just going to bankrupt them. Like it'll be a buy on top of a buy on top of a buy. So how do you cancel orders? Well, pretty simple actually. And that's why I love CCXC. Exchange.cancel all orders, and you just pass in the symbol. Remember, the symbol is ETH. We have this active order here. So if I go ahead and run this now, all it should do is cancel this active order. And that's super helpful. I use it all the time. You can see notification, order canceled. So now you know how to cancel orders. Now, one thing that's a little tricky here is sometimes you'll have like a stop loss or a conditional order. Let's go ahead and figure this out. Trigger price 1600, limit price 1601, and quantity 1. Let's just go ahead and long. And conditional order, this is like a take profit, right? So it's a little more intricate to actually submit these orders, but I definitely know how to do it and I use it all the time. I'm just not going to go here on this video. I would rather show you how to cancel them, because it was very hard to figure this out. Now, canceling orders, active orders, is one thing, but if I run this again, I don't think it's going to cancel this conditional order. You can see here, it's still active. So since this is still active, how do you cancel this? Well, it's just a little bit different. You say exchange.cancel all orders, cancel all orders, and you just have to pass in some parameters this time. So we would go ahead and say symbol equals symbol, and then we would have to go ahead and say params equals untriggered, in quotes, untriggered equals true. So now I'll actually get rid of this cancel. I usually, in my algos, I have both of them back to back, so it cancels all orders, even conditional ones. But you can see I have this conditional, and now this should cancel it. And you can see here, order canceled, deactivated, and it should disappear here. So now you know how to cancel conditional orders, which took me forever to figure out. So that right there was number 4. Cancel conditionals. Now let's go ahead and keep it going. So number 3 is going to be how to get the order book. Get the order book. And getting the order book is so important, because if you can get the order book, you can get the bid and ask, you can get like the second bid and ask, you can get the third one, you can see this guy's order, and so on and so on. So with that information, you're able to make much better algorithms, right? So what we do in order to get the order book is simply say OB equals exchange dot fetch order book. And then you simply pass in the symbol. What order book do you want? And then I can say, hey, I want to print OB. We'll close this cancel for now. And when I print this, it should print out the order book. And as you can see, here's the order book. So now you're able to get the exact timestamp, the bids, all the asks, and this is like the best information in order to really trade off of, because it's the most accurate data, in my opinion, because it's so live. So what I like to do, and here's just like a little bonus, is I like to go ahead and kind of mess with that order book in order to get the actual latest bid and ask. You can see it's moving so quick. So since it moves so quick, the open, high, low, close data sometimes isn't that great, because it's just like, it's almost a little delayed. So what I'll do here is I'll just say bid equals, and I'll say order book, and then I'll say bids at the 0 position, and then the ask will be very similar, ask, and then asks, like this. And now I can just say print, let's do F, bid, and then ask, like this, and just pop them in there. Ask, and then the bid, like this, and it should just print out, instead of the order book now, it will just print out the latest bid and ask. And you could get like the third latest, second latest, and so on, however you please to use it. But this took forever for me to learn. So I'm, you know, my thesis is, hey, I can help you. If I can help you, we can all win, because you'll probably end up inside of the Discord at some point, and we can all just grow together. So you can see this gets the latest bid and ask. So that's pretty cool. Now, what if you want all the data? So that was number 3 and number 2, honestly. But let's do more than 7 today. Let's show you everything that you need to be a successful algo trader here with CCXT. So the next thing I want to show you is how to go ahead and get the open, high, low, close data. Open, high, low, close, volume. This is how you get that data. So this is like all the data you need in order to trade, right? So exchange dot fetch open, high, low, close, volume. And then we want to go ahead and we want to pass in the symbol. We want to pass in the time frame, which we don't have yet. We will have it. And then we want to go ahead and also pass in the limit equals number of bar, or let's just call it limit. Limit equals limit. So we need the time frame, and with this information, we can then print bars, right? So let's go ahead and go back to where all our variables are here at the top, and let's put a time frame. Time frame equals, let's do 15 minutes. And let's also do a limit equals 200. That will get us 200 bars times 15 minutes. I don't know what that is, but let's go ahead and print. And now we should see the bid and the ask, and we should also get all of the data. This is all of the open, high, low, close, volume data. Now, that was number 6 or number 7. You know, I said top 7. I think I've given you 7 or 8 already. And what I want to do is just give one final, because you're probably like, what am I supposed to do with all this data, right? Like, this is open, high, low, close, volume data for the last 215-minute bars. That's a lot. So let's go ahead and format the open, high, low, close, volume data to a data frame. Now, we're going to need pandas for this. So let's go ahead and import pandas. Import pandas as PD, just like that. And once we do that, we can format this data, this bars data here. I'll go ahead and get rid of that ugly stuff. And we'll format it into a data frame in order for us to actually be able to read. So we'll say df equals pd.dataframe. And then we'll pass in the bars. And we'll pass in the columns. And we'll make the columns timestamp like this. We'll say open, high, low, close, volume. Open, high, low, close, and then volume, just like that. And that should format the data frame. And then we just want to convert the timestamp of the data frame into something that we can read. Timestamp equals pd.toDateTime, datetime, and then we'll pass in the column of timestamp, which we just created below. And if you have any questions on this, I know it can get a little confusing. Just let me know below. That's like my whole mission here, is to help you become a better algo trader. And now we can say print df. And now that ugly set of information we got should be nice and beautiful. And there it is. See that? Timestamp, open, high, low, close, volume with all of the data we need. And from here, we can build absolutely any strategy that we think of. And I like to post strategies inside my Discord. There's a bunch of other quants and algo traders that are posting strategies as well. We chat about it and all that good stuff. And you know, maybe I'll make a couple strategies, share it. Other people will make a couple strategies, share it. It's a really great community. And you get access to that just for becoming part of the Algo Trade Camp. So go watch this video if you want to learn about how to remove all emotions out of trading. But if you appreciate this video where I just showed you like the top things that I literally use in my day-to-day building new algos, all I ask is you tap that like button. That's all I ask. So I hope I helped you today. I appreciate your time. Go ahead and watch this video if you really want to get good at algo trading. I give a bunch of algorithms here too. You get all the code instantly. You get access to our Discord and all that good stuff if you do become a member. But other than that, I really appreciate your time today. I look forward to seeing you inside of Discord, and I hope this helped you a lot. So I'll see you inside Discord. Talk to you soon. Bye. I'm so excited to share this video with you because this is the top 5 ways to use CCXT. So if you're an algo trader and you're using CCXT right now, well, I'm going to show you the top 5 use cases that I personally use as an algo trader. And if you don't know me by now, my name is Moon, and every single day I go ahead and post new algorithms here to this YouTube channel. So make sure to subscribe if you aren't already. And CCXT essentially allows you to connect to Binance or FTX or Coinbase or KuCoin or Bybit or Phemex or whatever exchange you want. I'm going to be using Phemex for now, but all of the calls are pretty much the same. So the first thing you'll want to do is connect to the exchange. And how do you do that? Well, you just say exchange equals CCXT dot whatever exchange you want. So in this case, I'm using Phemex, but you can see that I could use Binance. I could use Binance US. I could do FTX. I could do Coinbase. I could do KuCoin, and so on and so on. You can use any exchange. I'm gonna use Phemex, and then you just simply say enable rate limit, enable rate limit. And we say set that to true, and then we go ahead and we say API key, and we set that to whatever our API key is. My API key is actually in another file, so I say import don't share config, and I just say don't share config dot XP, what is it called? XPJ key. And that might not work, but I gotta check my don't share config, so I'm gonna pull this off screen because it doesn't look like it's pulling in. So let me just check that file really quickly. It's looking good. Hopefully you can't see my keys right now. If you can, then I'm screwed, but hopefully this helps you. So you can see XP key, and I just paste that in here. And then the secret equals don't share config dot XP secret. And I actually know what's going on here, why I'm not connected. It's because I put it into the wrong file, and that's okay. Let's go ahead and bring that over here to don't share. And by the way, you can see in the bottom right, I have a Discord pretty much just for, it's a private community, so you can access that with the link in the description. But the first thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and see if we're connected to the exchange. So let's say print exchange dot fetch, and this is actually the first thing I want to show you, how to fetch balance. So you simply do exchange.fetchBalance, and if it comes back as information, then I'm successfully connected. You can see I have a little tiny bit of TUSD and a bunch of other stuff. So this is how you fetch your balance, and we'll go in reverse order here. So balance equals fetch balance. Now, if you're an algo trader like myself, you're always using fetch balance. So there you go. We'll go in reverse order though. I said top 5, and we'll go from balance on down. So to fetch balance, you simply say balance equals exchange dot fetch balance, just like that. Now, if we're going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, which we'll do here, that is number 5. And number 4, let's go ahead and show you how to create a market order. So we can go ahead and say order equals exchange dot create market buy order. And then all you have to pass in is the ETH USD or whatever symbol you want, and then the size. And if I went ahead and print order here, I can go ahead and see if it works. And you can see here on the top right, let's see if I'm connected to the right exchange. Let's go ahead and see if it works. And you can see order fully filled. And now I'm in a Ethereum USD position, which is a value of $8. And congrats. Like, if this is your first order, I remember when I put my first order in, my mind was blown. I was like, oh my goodness, I'll never have to worry about emotion again if you're at this point, right? Because now you can just build in strategies and create orders. So let's get out of that order by saying the opposite of this, right? I can just take this exchange.create order like this, and I can change this to a sell order. And now, since I have a position, I can say play, and it should get me out of this order. Oops. I didn't mark this out. So you see what happened? It bought another one and then sold one. So I'm in a position of 1 now. So if I mark this out, it's now going to just sell that. So you can see size 1, it should disappear. Boom, now fully filled, and we have 0 orders. So boom. I'm not going to call that number 3, but number 4, I just showed you exactly how to do a buy and a sell order. So that's pretty cool, right? Let's jump on to number 3. If we're going backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, we want to go ahead and fetch the order book. Because when you're algo trading, you always want to be able to see the order book. Maybe you're building a trading algorithm based off of reading the tape, or maybe you just need the current bid and ask. Well, it's not too hard to do. What we want to go ahead here and do is say, let's say order book, let's call it order book. And let's say the exchange dot, and remember, this can be for Binance, this can be for anything, dot fetch order book like this. And then we would just pass in the symbol. Since we're going to be using a symbol quite often, I'm just going to call the symbol, let's just put it right here. And instead of having to retype it all the time, I'll just have ETH USD. And then we can say, hey, the order book, I want this order book. Like, what's going on? Who's buying? Who's selling? What's it look like? Well, let's print it out. Let's print OB. So OB equals exchange.fetch order book for that symbol, and we should get the order book now. And boom, you have this order book of all of the orders. Think of how powerful that is. So if you appreciate me sharing all this, please do tap that like button. It helps encourage me to keep making more videos. But if we're going backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now we're at number 2. So if you really want to get good, make sure to stick around for number 2 and number 1. So since we got this order book here, I want to show you something you can use it for. So what I like to use it for is I like to get the bid and the ask. So number 2 is get bid and ask, because this is the most live data. Nobody can fool you here. If open, high, low, close, volume, all that good stuff, if that were to get passed in, well, it might be a little delayed. But with the order book, this is the brand new order book. So instead of printing order book, I'm just going to show you how to get the bid and the ask from the order book. So what we can do here is just say bid equals OB, which is this, the order book. We already set that to a variable. OB, and then we say bids like this, and that's going to tap into the dictionary at the bids position 0, 0. Now I've already gone through the order book and figured out that's how it works. So what I can do is just give it to you. And if you appreciate that, just tap that like button, because my whole thesis here is nobody shares this information, and I'm gonna be the one to share it. So I have my bid and my ask, and watch this. I can say print F literal, the bid is this, bid, and the ask is this, ask. Now let's see if it works. The only thing that should print out now is the bid and the ask. And you can see the bid and the ask here, 1661. Bid, 1661. It just changed a little bit, but this is the best way to get the most rapid, the most accurate price. Bid and ask, 1660.7. You can see here on Femex, that is the truth. So a lot of times people will use open, high, low, close volume data, which is nice, but it can be a little bit delayed. So I don't like to do that. So that's number 2 and one of my favorite functions to use. So number 1 here is how to cancel orders. Now I put this as number 1 because a lot of people forget in their algorithms, if they're going through and looping through, if their bot makes them an order, well, that order is going to be there until it fills. And if your bot's looping every 30 seconds, what I see a lot of people do is they forget to put the cancel order in there. And it says like buy one, and then it buys another, and then you go bankrupt. So every time you use your bot, you have to cancel the order. Or for my strategies at least, I cancel the orders every time through because I want to make sure it's the most accurate order. So what you do is you just cancel all orders and you pass in the symbol. So let's go ahead and show how this works by unmarking this order. So we'll make an order, and I'm going to change it. Here's just an extra bonus. Instead of market order, we want to do limit order, create limit buy order, and let's see, you can always hover over it. It says pass in the symbol, pass in the amount, which we have, the symbol and the amount, and then the price. Let's go ahead and pass in the price of 1600, so it won't fill automatically. And then any params we have. We won't put any params for now. And then let's put a time.sleep here, time.sleep. And let's put it at 5 seconds. Got to import time. Now, essentially, it's going to create the order, print out the bid and the ask. Well, it's going to create the order. Let's put this time down here. And then print out the bid and the ask. And then it's going to sleep 5 seconds, and then it's going to cancel the order. So that's number 1, is how to cancel orders. And you can see the top 5 here. Let's see if it actually works though. So it made the order submitted. You can see it. Now it's counting 5 seconds, active orders. You can see there's one order, about 5 seconds, just cancel the order. So now you can see this has been canceled. And I highly recommend use that cancel order if you're building a bot, because you don't want to overbuy or oversell. And there's a ton of things to go over in this CCXT. But what I did is I just put together everything that I use, and I just put it all into a boot camp. So you can just get a straight line method on exactly how to become a really great algo trader. And I show you absolutely everything I wish I would have known. And then I also invite you into our private mastermind group, where you can see I post a bunch of strategies. Other people post strategies. There's a ton of code in there. You get access to all the code. And I highly recommend just go watch this video. I'll put the link there. But if you've ever lost money due to emotions, just watch this video. And then, hey, if you want to join, you get a bunch of algorithms, you get a bunch of code, you get step-by-step, A to Z, how to become a really great algo trader. You get all of that. Just go watch this video. You'll learn everything. And other than that, I appreciate your time today. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. If this did help you out, do tap that like button. And I'll see you inside Discord. Talk to you soon. In this video, I'm going to show you the top 3 use cases for CCXT. Now, you probably know what CCXT is, but it essentially helps you connect to any exchange, any crypto exchange, so you can algorithmically trade there. And if you know me, by now you know I build new algos every single day, and I share them here on YouTube. So I have algos going as we speak, but enough about me. I want to show you how to connect to any exchange using CCXT. You can connect to Binance, you can connect to FTX, Coinbase, KuCoin, Bybit, and Femex, and a ton others. But these are the ones that I typically use. So I'm going to show you how to do that. First thing we do is we import CCXT. I'm sure you already have it, but if you don't, you just click pip install CCXT, just like that. Now, the next step you want to do before we can get to the top 3 use cases is actually connect to your exchange. So I'm going to use Phemex, but I'll show you right here that this can be any exchange. So let me just call this exchange. So exchange equals CCXT dot, and then you can see it can be Phemex, it could be Coinbase, it could be Binance, it can be Buybox, it can be FTX, whatever exchange you want, but you just type it in here, FTX US, and so on and so on. If you have any problems connecting to any specific exchange, please let me know, because I use them all, pretty much, or a lot of them, and I can help you with them. I'm gonna use Phemex for now, and it's pretty much the same for all of them. I'm gonna go ahead and say enable rate limit. I'm gonna set that to true, just like that, and then I'm gonna say API key, and I have a configuration file that I put this in, and it's called don't share config, and then I just put XP key like this, and then the secret is this. Now you get this secret from your exchange, config.xp secret, and you can see that I haven't actually imported this yet, so I have to import it. And if you have any questions here, let me know. Use me as a resource. I know this stuff is super hard to learn. That's why I try to put everything here on YouTube, because there's just nobody sharing this information. So I put it on YouTube, I put my strategies inside a Discord here, and so on and so on. But the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you're actually connected to the exchange. So I'm going to say print exchange.fetch balance, and this is actually the number 3. So we'll go in reverse order. Number 3 is fetching your balance. I want to be able to fetch my balance at any time, right? And if I can fetch my balance, that means that I'm connected to the exchange, first off. But second off, you're going to need, anytime you build an algorithm, you're going to need to fetch your balance all the time. So I'm going to click fetch balance here, and you can see API key has no attribute called that. So we got to see what's going on here. So I go ahead and say don't share config.xp key. I think I just had a little error there. So xp secret config dot, let's go ahead and say dot xp, and then I think it's capital secret like that, and we have to go ahead and see what's going on with my don't share config. Why isn't it connecting me? Let's go ahead and see if this runs, and this will be the true test. Oh, I need to put the comma there, that's why. So don't forget your commas. And now it should go ahead and print out my balance, and the balance is the third thing. If we're going in reverse order, top 3 things, the balance is the third thing. You're gonna need that a lot. Now the second thing is we want to go ahead and create an order. So let's say order, let's actually say market order equals exchange dot create market by order. Now here you would have to pass in the symbol, so I'll just do ETH USD. You gotta spell it right, of course. ETH USD like this, and then you have to pass in the size. So let's go ahead and see here. You can see if you hover over it, it says pass in any symbol and then any amount. So if I were to then say print market order, well, it's gonna create the order. We'll go ahead and mark all this out. It's gonna create the order and actually execute the order, and then it's gonna print all the details. Let's go ahead and pull up the exchange so you can actually see this happen. Let's go to contract trading. And you can see here that I have no open positions as of now. Now, with a lot of these exchanges, this is one thing to note. So this is kind of like a bonus. So number 3 was you have to show the balance. Number 2 is this create market order function I'm showing you. But if you're doing contract trading, it can get a little trickier, because in contract trading, you have to pass in different parameters and say pretty much, hey, you know, we're not trading this. We don't want to trade the actual coins or whatever. We want to make sure that we are only trading the contracts. So what you have to do, now this totally depends. If you're doing contract trading, this part applies to you. But if you're doing spot trading, this right here is going to make the order on spot. But if I want it to be on the contract side, I have to say params equal. And then you have to figure out the type. Now on Phemex it's type, and we just type in swap. And then the code is I want to trade off the USD pair. So I would say USD, and it's capital USD. And I would just pass in these params equals params. And now it should create a market order here, and we can see it actually happen. So it should be ETH USD size of 1 on this market because we passed in the params. So let's see if it works. And there it goes. It printed out something. It printed out the market order, a buy. And I actually, the reason you can't see this is because I'm using a different account. So that's funny. I was trying to show you an example, but I'm using a different account so you can't see it, but you can see it actually created the order. So it says right here, remaining 1, it probably filled immediately. And what I want to do now is I want to show you how to do the reverse. Since I created a market order on the buy side, to make it on the sell side, to get rid of that, I can just turn that to sell, and boom, changes it to a sell. So account size of 1, and boom, there you are. You're algo trading already. So I'm making buys and sells from Visual Studio Code, which is pretty awesome. So number 3 was finding the balance. Number 2 was market orders. And I added this little bonus for you if you're doing contract trading, which would be the params. And then the last thing, the number 1 thing, is how to do limit orders and make sure that they're actually not just regular limit orders, they're post-only limit orders. So what I want to go ahead and do here is say limit order equals exchange dot create limit buy order. I'm going to pass in that symbol, and here's another way to do it. I could just say symbol, and I could say size, and I could say params, and let's look at what else it says we need. We need the symbol, we need the amount, we need the price, and we need the params. So if we wanted to get the price, there's more intricate ways we could do this, but I'll just say for now, let's go ahead and look at what the price is of Ethereum. And let's say we'll buy it at 1600. And instead of putting it all in the actual pass through here, we can say price here, like that. And I can go ahead and say symbol equals ETH USD, the size equals 1, and the price equals, let's say 1600. So it's going to create a limit buy order for the symbol, which is ETH USD, the size, which is 1, the price, which is 1600, and then it's going to pass in the params in order for me to simply only trade on the contract. Now, if you want to trade somewhere else without the contract, like the spot orders, then you don't actually need that. Right? So that makes sense. If you have any questions, please do let me know, because I am here to help. And then the last thing I want to go ahead and implement here is I want to implement a post only. So let's go ahead and put that here in the params, and let's say time in force. And this is pretty cool. A lot of people don't use this, but essentially this will make it so if it doesn't get executed as a limit order, then it will not create the order. And if you know about contract trading and fees, which I'm sure you do, you know the fees are higher when you do market orders than if you do limit orders. So for example, if this order went through and for example, the market changed in that short period of time, it might get executed as a market order and you have to pay a bigger fee. But since I said time and force post only, that means it will only do it if it can be a limit order. So this is like an extra little bonus. You're gonna see how to create a limit order with post only. And I love post only because it saves me so much money. And now essentially what I'll do is I'll mark out this stuff so none of that happens. And I can go ahead and say play, and it will go ahead and create the order. And you can see it sends me back the order information. And what I want to do here is just give you one extra bonus and say femex.cancel, actually exchange.cancel. Let's say cancel all orders, and say exchange.cancel all orders, and then we'll pass in that symbol. Because I can't see it here, I'm looking at a different account on the exchange. So if I don't want that order to be active anymore, I just say, hey, cancel order. So instead of 3, I gave you 4. So I hope you like this. If you do like this type of video and you want more walkthroughs of exactly how to algo trade, just go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe, and I post new videos every single day. You know, my goal is to build a new algorithm every single day and share it with you here on YouTube. Now, if you want to go ahead and really accelerate your success, join me inside of Discord here, where I post a bunch of strategies, a bunch of code, a lot of other algo traders and quants in here posting strategies and code. You get all this access to all of the things I wish I would have known when I first got started algo trading. You get some bots. And even if you don't want to join, don't worry. Go watch this video at least. This will change your mindset on trading forever. If you've ever lost money from emotion, you need to watch this video. So I look forward to seeing you in this video right here. And other than that, I hope you have a wonderful day. And I will see you inside a Discord or somewhere around the webs. Talk to you soon. Video, I'm going to show you how to connect to Femex algorithmically so you can start algo trading. Pretty awesome, because then you can control all of your emotions by essentially just putting all of your strategies into code. So it's pretty simple to do. Import CCXT. If you don't already have CCXT, pip install CCXT like this. And then once you're connected, you want to go ahead and say Femex equals CCXT.Femex like this. And then you want to put parentheses and brackets. And then we want to say enable rate limit. And this is going to equal true. And from there, we want to say API key and keep these very secret. The API key, you can go up here on Femex and say request a new API key in the top right under your account profile. Pretty simple to do. And you put it in right there. Be careful with this if you're going to share this file, because if somebody has these API keys and secrets, they can transfer your funds and all that good stuff. So I'll show you a safe way to do this in a second. So you can see you put in the API key and then you also put in the secret. Now this is my API key and this is my secret. Now, as you can see, you know, I'm making a video for you. So if this were my real key and secret, I would get hacked. Now, if I were to upload this to GitHub with my API key or secret, I would get hacked. And it's not even really being hacked because I'm giving away, you know, I'm giving away the keys. So I want to show you a safer way. You can see I have a don't share config right there. Don't share config py. So let's pretend this is the don't share config down here. This is all it looks like. It's xp key equals this. Pretty much saying a variable in there, and I highly recommend to do that. Put it in there. And then you want to do the same thing for the secret. So like this. And instead of having it up here at the top of my code where anybody can see it, I put it right here in this file. And this file is this don't share config. So now that I have it in that file, let's pretend, you know, let's pretend, right? It's in there. And we want to go ahead and say import now. Import don't share config. now that it's imported, I can actually bring it over here and say, don't share config, tap into that, and then get that XP key, just like that. And then I can do the same thing for secret. So don't share config dot secret, XP secret. And now I should be connected, but I want you to go ahead and make sure you're connected before you start developing anything else, and say print Phoenix dot fetch balance like this. And if this outputs something, that means I'm successfully connected. And you can see it outputs everything. So that means that, you know, I have a balance of 0 mana or 0 USDT and so on and so on. But that means I'm connected to the exchange. So congratulations, you got your first step to being an algo trader. Because now you're connected to the exchange. Now you just have to build the strategy into your algorithm. And that's actually what I do here on this YouTube channel. So tap the like button and maybe even subscribe if you'd like to see these algorithms I build here on YouTube. I build every single day for free on YouTube because nobody else in the world is going to share this information. And I was the first user of that, right? Like I was the first person to go through this and realize that nobody shares algorithmic trading strategies or anything on YouTube because it's so secretive and everybody wants to keep the strategies to themselves. I actually go even a step further and I put my strategies here on Discord. And I share my code and all that good stuff. I built a bootcamp too in order to actually share that code. So there's a link for that bootcamp that will just really accelerate your success if you want to become an algo trader. You get all my code, all that good stuff. You get to join us in the Algo Traders Mastermind group here, where we share strategies, we share code, bunch of algo traders in there, quants, data scientists, and so on. So if you want to join that, there's a link for that below. Make sure to tap the like if this helped you out. I look forward to seeing your success. Use me as a resource, by the way. If you have any questions, I'm here for you. And I hope you have a wonderful day. I will catch you in Algo Trade Camp. And even if you don't want to join, I highly recommend just going and watch this video through the link below on Algo Trade Camp if you've ever lost money due to emotion. So if you want to remove all emotion from trading, go ahead and watch that video. And then, hey, if you want to join, you get a bunch of algorithms, you get all the code instantly, and a bunch of good stuff. So I hope you have a great day. I'll see you inside of Discord and talk to you soon. What is going on? In this video, I'm going to show you how to start algo trading with Bybit. So the first step is connecting to the exchange. So how do you connect to the Bybit exchange through Python? Well, I'm using Visual Studio Code here, and the way to connect is actually fairly simple. I just say import CCXT. CCXT is a library that helps you connect to all the exchanges. If you don't have it, you just pip install CCXT. And then what you want to do is you want to just say Bybit equals CCXT.Bybit. So make sure it says Bybit there. And then parentheses, brackets. And then we want to say enable rate limit equals true. And then we want to say the API key like this. And you can get your API key in Bybit settings. Just create an API key, put in your two-factor and all that good stuff. Keep this super secret. Don't share it with anybody. Don't share your secret either. And you essentially get both of these from Bybit. So you have the two keys. And essentially, you want to be super secretive about these. Don't share them with anybody. If you've seen my videos before, you can see I have this other file called don't share config. And I'll show you what that file looks like. So it looks something like this. Pretend below these green hashes, this is the new file called don't share config. Now this is something you don't want to share with anybody. And I would say API key equals, and then whatever this API key was. I could delete it from there and paste it right here. Remember, this is the other file called don't share config. And then I could say secret equals, I can remove it from here. And remember, this is in the other file called don't share config. So we have to then bring in that don't share config like this. And then from here, I can just go ahead and say, copy and paste in the config, and then whatever the variables are called in that config, I can connect to. So in my case, it's called XP key and XP secret. And the next step you want to do, I'm going to delete this since this is actually the other file. I'm connected now. This next step you want to do is say print, just to see if you're connected, bybit dot fetch balance, and if you can fetch your balance, then that means you're connected. Now, I'm not actually going to be able to fetch my balance because these keys are for Phemex, so I just have to change this from bybit to Phemex, and now I'm connected. So this is what it should look like when I print my balance. See a bunch of information here? That means that I'm successfully connected to the exchange. In your case, connecting to Bybit, this would just be Bybit, and you'd obviously get the keys from Bybit. And for me, it was Phemex. So that's it. That's how you connect to the exchange. And I want to congratulate you on starting your journey. This is a big step. I know this is a very hard industry to get into, very hard to understand things, very hard to learn things because nobody wants to share anything. So I'm trying to do the opposite and share everything I know about algo trading. I put it here all on YouTube, but I also went ahead and structured more of a boot camp that gives you all of my code. It walks you through everything A to Z. You get access to me and to chat with me inside of our private mastermind where I put strategies, other people put strategies, we talk about code, there's a bunch of data scientists and algo traders. So you get access to all that inside of the bootcamp. There's a link for that below. But if you did find this video helpful, please do tap that like button. That's all I really ask. And if you want some more advanced training with all my code and access to the mastermind group, go ahead and tap that link below or visit algotradecamp.com, and I will catch you in the next video. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to start algo trading on Coinbase. We're going to use CCXT, which is pretty much makes it easy to connect to any crypto exchange, and then we can start algo trading. So this is the first step. What you want to do is, if you don't already have it, pip install CCXT like this, or CCXT. And then once it's installed, you say import CCXT like this. And then you want to say Coinbase equals CCXT.Coinbase. You can use Coinbase or Coinbase Pro, whichever one you prefer. But let's go ahead and connect here, put some parentheses and some brackets. And then we want to go ahead and say enable rate limit true. And then we want to go ahead and say API key equals, you get your API key inside of Coinbase, you say create a new API key somewhere in settings, and then you say secret like this, and you put that in there like this, whatever they give you. It should be a secret password that you don't want to share with anybody else. And then one other thing that Coinbase uses is a password. So they're also going to give you that password, or you'll have to create it. So it'll look something like this. Now you don't want to share this with anybody, because if you share it, they can take your funds, they can place trades, they can do all that good stuff. So you want to be very careful with it. Now what I do is I make a configuration file, as you can see here, don't share config on the left side. And this stores my keys, and it stores them kind of like this. So it says, like, you know, a random variable, let's call it API key equals, and then it's just this API key that I got from Coinbase. Paste it right there. And then we do the same thing with the secret. And remember, down here, this is what's in this file right here. So we say API secret equals that. And then we do the same thing for password. So password equals that. Now what I can do, since remember this file, or this, imagine it's in that file, the don't share config. So I would then just say import don't share config like this. And instead of all of this, I would delete my thing from here and say whatever it's called. Now in my case, I named it XP key, and don't share config XP secret. And then for the password, XP, well, don't share config dot XP, password, whatever it might be. Now, what you want to go ahead and do is make sure that it works. So we say print Coinbase dot fetch balance like this. And when you fetch balance, that will, if it brings back a balance, that means you're connected correctly. Now, just to show you that I'm connected, I can go ahead and print this if I want to, or I could change to a new exchange. So it's super easy to just change to a new exchange like this. But this is how you connect to Coinbase. And it's as simple as that. So you will be able to tell if you're connected, and I'm actually not connected because I put in random API keys and whatnot. So it'll come back as an error for me, but for you, if you're actually connected, you can see invalid API key. Well, if you're actually connected, it will print back your balance. So I could easily change this over to Phemex and show you an example of being connected. Phemex actually does not use a password, so I'm just gonna mark it out like that. And this says pretty much don't use this line. And if I go ahead now and print it, you see this is a bunch of JSON, and that means I'm successfully connected. So this is exactly how you connect to Coinbase or Coinbase Pro. Just remember here that if you want Coinbase Pro, you have to select Coinbase Pro. If you want Coinbase, you select Coinbase. And you must have CCXT, so if you don't have that, pip install CCXT. And I use CCXT for a lot of my algos, and I actually share a lot of those algos here on YouTube. So if you appreciate this video, just tap the like button, subscribe, and you'll see a bunch more. Now, this stuff is super hard to learn simply because nobody wants to share their algorithms, right? We find things that work and we don't share them. So I'm trying to do the opposite and just share everything here on YouTube. And since a lot of people have asked for like a straight line approach to like getting started, algo trading, how to build a ton of great algos, I went ahead and put together a bootcamp that shows all that in video form. You can actually I would highly recommend, even if you don't want to join it, watch this video. There's a link for it below, but it shows you like how to remove all of your emotion from trading. And then if you do want to join the bootcamp, we go over a ton of indicators, a few trading bots, machine learning, and so on and so on. And you get all of the code instantly. And then probably one of my favorite parts is you get to join our community. And you can see I drop strategies in here. People will drop other strategies in here. This is Discord, and you get access to all that when you do join the bootcamp. So there's a link for that below. I want to congratulate you for starting your algo trading journey. It's a fun game to be in, and I'm happy that I can help you out. So if you have any questions, please use me as a resource, and I will catch you inside of the bootcamp. What is going on? In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to get started with algorithmic trading on KuCoin. So KuCoin is a great exchange because it has access to all of the tokens pretty much. You know, they try to release tokens much quicker than a lot of exchanges like Binance or Coinbase or FTX and all that. So I want to show you how to get started with algo trading with KuCoin, and we're going to use CCXT. So CCXT is a library that helps us connect to all exchanges, and it's actually fairly simple to connect to KuCoin. All you go do is you say KuCoin equals CCXT after you import it right above, and then you type in KuCoin like this. And once you do that, you go ahead and put some parentheses and brackets, and then you say enable rate limit. And you set that to true, like this. And then you want to bring in your API key. And your API key, pretty easy to find. Go to KuCoin and say create new API key, and you'll get a key and a secret like this. So we go ahead and say the secret. And you want to be very careful. Don't share this with anybody because then they can change your trades, make trades, steal your funds, and all that good stuff. So what I actually do, and I'll show you how to do that right now, is you can see over here, this don't share config, right? This is something I can't share on video because it essentially has all my keys and stuff. And instead, I can show you, this is the don't share config. Don't share config. And you can do this too. And you would say like API key, and pretend this is the don't share config, and you'd put your API key right there. Just like this. So we'd copy it, API key, and we put it right there. And again, this is the other file, and this is hidden from everybody, including you right now. So we would do the same thing for secret, like this. And once we have those two things, we would save that file, and you can see it's saved over there, don't share config. And I would just import it, import don't share config, like that. And now that it's imported, I can remove these keys, because remember, like if those were my real keys, you'd be able to withdraw my funds. And if I uploaded this to GitHub, you'd be able to withdraw my funds, right? So what I do is I hide it, don't share config, and then I can say whatever the name is, and in this case, I said XP key, and this one would be XP secret. Just like I created down here, but instead here I said API key. So you can kind of look at this, like if this said XP key in the don't share config, I can delete this now because this is in the other file and we're tapping into from here. Now, what you would do just to check to see if you're actually connected, you'd say print and then KuCoin.fetch balance, like this. And if this prints out, then it means I'm connected. Now, I'm actually going to show you here with a different exchange, but this is how you connect to KuCoin. I use KuCoin all the time. I'm going to use Phemex just because I know I'm connected to that. So it's relatively easy if you want to jump over to Binance or a different exchange. You obviously have to change your API keys. But now if I print this, that means I'm successfully connected. And boom, you can see a bunch of information. That means my balance is there and I am successfully connected. So if this is the first time that you're able to get connected to an exchange, you know, congratulations. A lot of this stuff is hard to learn because nobody wants to share it because everybody's so secretive in this industry. And that's what I'm here for, is like, this was super hard for me to learn. So I put everything that I had to learn myself onto YouTube. So make sure to like, subscribe, and you'll see all those videos. Now, if you want something a little more straight lined, that's a little more organized and just straight to the point, well, I put together a boot camp, and you can see here inside that boot camp, you get access to our Discord, where a bunch of people are posting different strategies, asking questions, building stuff. A lot of developers, a lot of data scientists, a lot of algo traders. You get access to all this inside of the boot camp. So if you really want to learn this with a bunch of other people, including direct instruction from myself, well, go ahead and join the boot camp. There's a link for that below, and you can go to algotradecamp.com. Either way, you know, there's a ton for you to learn from me, and I'm here to help you. So if you have any questions or anything, please do ask them here on YouTube, or I'll see you inside of the boot camp, where you get access to a bunch of strategies I've already built, a bunch of algorithms, a lot of walkthroughs, and really just giving you everything that I wish I had when I got started. So I look forward to seeing you in there. And other than that, I hope you have an amazing day. What is going on? In this video, I am going to show you how to algo trade using Binance. So to get set up, it's actually pretty simple. You obviously need to use your, I use Visual Studio Code in order to trade with Python. But once you're in here, all you have to do is first pip install CCXT. This is a library that allows you to essentially use any crypto exchange. So I'll go ahead and show you how this works. I'll say import CCXT. And then, for example, if you want to algo trade with Binance, all you have to do is you have to make the connection to Binance. So to do that, you just go ahead and say Binance, like this, Binance equals, and then you go CCXT dot Binance, and you can see it gives us the option for Binance. If you want Binance US, you would use Binance US, but then you do Binance. And once you're there, you do this little function here, or those brackets, and then you simply say enable rate limit, and you set that to true. And then you say API key like this, and you go ahead and put your API key in here. So you can actually go to your Binance dashboard, and where it says API key in the top right in the settings, it might be somewhere else, but it's somewhere it says create API key, and then you simply create your API key. You put in your, your two-factor authentication and all that good stuff, and then they're gonna give you an API key that looks like what I just put in, and then an API secret. So you're gonna get these two things, right? So you're gonna have API key and the API secret, and it's gonna look like this. Now, if you've seen my videos before, you see I actually hide my API keys for obvious reasons, because if you share your API key with anybody, they can submit orders on your behalf, and in some cases, even send your funds to their account. So you wanna be really careful with your API keys and your API secret. So you can do it like this if you're not gonna be sharing it on video or sharing this file with anybody else. But what I recommend is you actually put it into a configuration file, and that's probably what you've seen me do here on this video, or on these videos if you've been watching my channel for a while. But essentially, I have a file called don't share config, and I have to import that. So I'll go ahead and put it in both of these, and I'll say import. And I can't show this file, but it's essentially just what I showed you prior. But let's go ahead and see here, don't share underscore config. You can see here, my file is here, don't share config. And this holds the keys in the format that I just showed you. So it'd be like this, API key equals like that. And I save it into a file called don't share config. And then I can simply say, hey, don't share config, post those there, and inside of the don't share config, it looks like this, API key like that, and then API secret, it's gonna look like this. So this is a great way to keep your key secret. I would say dot, and then I would say, for this one, I can just say XP key, and then here, I would say dot XP secret. Now, these names are gonna be whatever you named them. So in this example, I call them API keys. So it'd be don't share config dot API key. Now, now I'm connected, right? Because this is calling this file here and this variable. And this is how you connect to Binance. Now, I'll go ahead and show you. I'm gonna change this here really quick to Phemex because that's what I use, but it's all relatively the same. And in order to make sure that you're actually connected, let's say check connection here. What you want to do is go ahead and say Binance. I guess I spelled Binance wrong. So Binance dot fetch balance, because if I can fetch my balance, that means I'm successfully connected. So I'm going to say print like this, and if this returns something, that means I'm successfully connected to the Binance exchange. And as there you can see, I was able to output it. Now, of course, in my instance, I'm using Phemex, but this is the exact same way to do it for Binance or whatever exchange that you want to try this with. So this is the step one to algo trading. So if you're here at this point, congratulations, because you have made a very large step. And what you can do next is just, like my video, and you'll see more videos. And I make new algorithms every single day, and then I share them here on YouTube. But if you really want to excel and just step on the gas, I actually, since I got a lot of people asking about it, I put together a little boot camp that has every single video and every single thing that I wish I would have learned here when I got started algo trading. Now, algo trading is probably the most secretive industry in the world. Nobody shares this information of how to build algos, how to do step-by-step, literally everything you need to know. So I went ahead and just built that. And you can get to that. There's a link below, or go to algotradecamp.com. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed this, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video where I'll do some more CCXT tutorials, or I'll go ahead and see you inside the bootcamp where you get access to all my code and all my algorithms and a step-by-step A to Z process on exactly how to become a really great algo trader. So I'll see you there.